Here we go. Hey guys. Okay, well, welcome. But let's start it off with, of course, some success stories. What's going on in your world? Give me either some success stories or some aha moments, some nuggets that you guys are maybe either picking up along the way from other calls, experiences, whether it's just whatever you guys got going on in your world. Let's hear it from you guys.
So I drove to West Virginia Sunday, which was about an hour and 40 minutes from home, and that is the furthest I've gone to have anyone on my team. And we had a challenge party, and today she enrolled her 6th custom kit, so she's now in the promoter pool, customer pool twice, and we're about 600 out from our first month of PQV for Rising Star.
Wow. Fantastic. That is
so awesome. I was pretty excited I made that drive.
Very good.
Find her, Sherry. Where'd you find her?
She was an inactive challenger that had an unopened transformation kit of about 9 months that she never touched it. And when I was at NST, I reached out to inactive challengers and just said, I'm not looking for you to buy anything. I'm not looking for you to get reactive. I'm just asking if you have any unused product. And if you're ready to get started again, I'm here to help. And that's how it happened.
Wow.
So she made no purchase. She opened her kit in April, and now she's a promoter.
Great. I love it.
That's great.
Love it.
Okay, so I can tell you what not to do. Don't do a 3-way call with someone that calls you and says, hey, I need to see you right now because I need to order product. And I run over the house and I take my shakes and stuff, and her roommate's there. And so I do the shakes, and I can see she's stressed. And I had a meeting to go to in like 30 minutes, so I didn't have a lot of time anyway. And so, I'm trying to get them to like watch the video. I call Christina to 3-way, and Tina's like, who are you calling? Why are you calling somebody? Why are you calling? I don't want to talk to anybody else. I want to talk to you. Jeannie, you're my person. I just want to talk to you. And by that time, I was kind of like, oh, crumb, right in the middle of it. So this is really what not to do. And then her dog was sick all through the video and stuff. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So don't do that. That's what not to do. One of the things what not to do. So the second thing I had this last week was a person that Christina and I had been working with for about a week, and she was sick, and her kid was sick, and then she didn't have the money, so we planned another call, and I saw on Facebook that she had joined It Works. And so I called her and said, hey, this is Jeannie, just wanted to see, if we can get together today, get you all set up for your buy package. I still haven't heard from her. That was almost a week ago. She has not responded. I texted her, so anyway, she signed up with It Works instead. So that's what not to do for the week.
Well, we all have had experiences, and we all have to grow from them, right? But at least we can laugh at this one and say, okay, well, that one got away, and what a little cluster on the first of it, right? But we've all been there, so shake it off. It's another day, right? Another brand new day tomorrow. Well, good. Mary Lou, what you got?
I had a good friend of mine that I work with that finally came over this week. She called me and said she's ready to get started. So she came over, brought her little son, and we made shakes, and she's ready to get her challenge going. And so she signed up. She did 2 bags right now, but she loves the neon. And so we talked a little bit about the business. But she's super excited. Can't wait to get her shakes in the mail. And so we'll go from there.
Awesome.
Great.
Anybody?
And I said you'd show up, Carol.
Hey. Jeannie, you got a custom kit in. What are you complaining about, girl?
I said, Carol will be on here. She'll be on here.
Yeah. Hey, I had a cool thing happen. I think I told y'all maybe part of this story last week, but I had this guy who was just like a friend of our team, but not really on our team. Did I tell that story last week? And he came in as a customer. Okay.
No,
Short version of a really long story, but this is good because it kind of applies to what we're doing tonight, which aren't we sort of talking about converting customers to promoters-ish? Okay.
Yeah.
So good quick story. There was this guy named Bob, and he lived in Charlotte, and I was just friends through events with his upline who was in Florida and somebody else in Michigan. Anyway, he was sort of, kind of like homeless, like he didn't have people to be with. And so we adopted him, and he was awesome. We loved him. The whole team loved on him because that's what, we all do, all these folks on this line. And he ended up leaving with his whole team, and just lots of big people in Bye a few years ago to go to another company. And we stayed friends on Facebook, but just, never mentioned Bye again to him. He never mentioned the other company. Just, we just stayed personal friends. And I noticed about a month ago, he started just liking some things that we were putting out there. And so 2 weeks ago, he just out of the blue texted me and said, hey, you need to welcome your new customer, me. And so that was cool. That was like a 207 custom kit. And basically he got the neon, the snacks. He just got everything that he already had shape. He got everything that he had missed over the last 2 years. Gave that a try, really loved it. At that point, I just started kind of popping him in on some promoter stuff, like just tagging him. And I even called him and said, hey, where are you going with this? Because, if you ever come back to Vi, we need you here and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the day of my surgery, he went in and upgraded to promoter. So up in Pennsylvania. So that's really cool, whole different market. And but I think that just shows, our whole I'm not telling the story about me. I'm telling it about this whole group. If you lead with love, no matter who these people belong to, and you're not cross-recruiting, but, if you lead with love, it's going to come back in a good way.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great story. I love it. And, and you're right. It's definitely one of those things where not just, it's just being there for people when they need you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And establishing that relationship. And God, that's awesome. I love your story. Thank you. Super excited. Anybody else have a story with us tonight that wanted to share?
I'll share.
Yes, Ron, go.
Well, you know about it because I asked you the random question, but somebody that was in Visalis when I started 4 years ago and has probably been in 5 or 6 different companies randomly emailed me today about our formula, and she heard that it changed and blah, 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 nobody's losing weight. And I'm like, first of all, where did you hear that crap? And second of all, a lot of things have changed. So she's actually looking on my website right now, and I said you can basically explain the custom kit. So she actually might be a custom kit order in the next couple of days or something. But I want to talk to her on the phone, but we've just been texting back and forth because I was teaching. But it was kind of cool to hear from her because I haven't heard from her in years, but we see each other what we do on Facebook. So keep those relationships going no matter if they go sour, they not. You never know when they'll come back.
And you just hung up with me and you didn't tell me that?
No, because you kept on talking. That's why I called you, Sherry, but you wanted to get off the phone.
You guys are killing me tonight. All right.
It's a brother-sister love with her.
I get it.
I have to call Drew and Mimi out. You guys have got to come off of mute.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we don't hear from you guys enough, that is for certain. So let's hear what you got.
Okay.
Wait for it.
Really, Ron?
Hey guys, we're super excited. We're always super excited, especially to be on our calls and everything like that. We just enjoy the atmosphere and everybody's thoughts and everything else. But today, let me go back just a little bit. I think it was last month, Carol, that I went to meet with my friend who's an ex-NFL player, ex-college player and everything like that. So I went to meet with him. He has his own gym because me and my wife, we just wanted some training, because we're killing our bike commits, if I do say so myself. But we wanted some extra training. So we spoke to him a little bit about it. He was really interested in the business, and he spoke to Vince Filippone at length for a while on the call, and he wanted to sign up that very day. So we went through the whole process and pretty much got down to the card part, and it just wouldn't allow him for some reason. Long story short, I've been trying to call him and text him and Facebook him and like send smoke screen signals and everything else. I mean, I've been trying to contact him any kind of way I could. And he wouldn't just pick up the phone, or he wouldn't even just reply. So eventually, last night, I sent him a text. I said, listen, whatever it is, not even about the business, we just want some training. Let us know what's going on. So he texted me this morning. He said, listen, I'm sorry my phone I haven't got a chance to get in contact with you. Come to the gym anytime before 1. We can talk. I mean, he was standing outside when I got there. I didn't even tell him I was coming up. But he was standing outside speaking to somebody, and as soon as I got out the car, he like pretty much rushed me and was like, listen, Drew, I'm so happy that you came in. I've been, thinking about you and everything. I really want to get in. So I talked to him a little bit more, and he said, all right, well, whip out his credit card before I even sat down and said, listen, we're going to do this right now. And I'm so happy to report that he came on as EPS. He's a personal trainer with his own gym.
Fantastic.
And one of his other trainers is going to be joining. He's supposed to be joining tonight. And he's really excited because we told him about, listen, Rising Star, and he wants to get all these things done. I know we told him 7 days. He said, I want to get this thing done before Thursday. And I just got off the phone with him. He said he's going home to meet with a couple of people to see if he can get 8 people in our organization tonight.
Fantastic. Home run.
Yeah. So
I think that's just the best example. You know how we get our feelings hurt and we're like, oh my gosh, they're rejecting us. We think of all these reasons that they're not getting back with us, where whatever happened, Drew just kept following up and it worked out. I love it.
You did. Thank you very much, guys.
Oh, no,
that's awesome, guys. Great job.
Congratulations. Definitely home run, and just keep plugging away and making sure that they're, use Vince. Like I said, he's powerful, and home run. I love it. Love it. All right, guys, I know that we're nearing the time that Larry and Rachel are going to be joining us. So real quick, knowing that we are approaching the 19th of the month, we're not quite there yet. Still got a few days. You guys know that after those auto ships hit, then we will start our live leaderboard on the 20th. So for those of you guys that have thrown some goals out there, it's kind of be that time to start, reevaluating and deciding if you've got some adjustments to make, just for the leaderboard, just for say, because we like to have a little bit of fun competition in here and rooting everybody on. Also, guys, let me look here. Rock out those LSTs. I know that it's probably in the forefronts of your minds. I'm sure you're hearing that, and it's probably echoed on every call that you guys attend, but just wanted to make sure that's being said here as well. And then obviously I dropped a video in the thread earlier in regards to celebration bashes. I'm not sure yet. We haven't really talked a whole lot on the call about it, but I want to make sure that that's something that's in the forefront of you guys' mind as well when we talk about retention and how to hold on to our customers. We're in the 45 days of our run right now as far as this 90-day process. And right now, this would be a great time to, if you haven't already established like groups that you're working with, and like we've said, things that we can add value by either doing the Facebook groups with them, or like an email group, or whatever you're doing for the weigh-ins and things of that nature, throwing them good videos and information of what's going on. But this would also be a great way to recognize people. And like that video was capturing, it's a huge way to even build into the next group of people, because as these celebration bashes are happening and you've got people there that are excited and happy and they're impressed with the transformation and they love the community that they're seeing come out of this, you'll have a whole bunch of new customers coming on board, or potentially even some promoters that maybe have been watching and they are just business minded and they're seeing all the activity, all the excitement, and going, oh my gosh, this is a home run. So keep that in the forefront of your mind. But I see that we have Larry on the call, so I don't want to take away from his time. Larry is joining us. He's actually just leaving out of a party tonight, so we certainly don't want to take away from that. But he and his wife are out of actually Indiana. He and Rachel have been with us for a while, and I don't want to steal much of his thunder. I'm going to let him really tell you his backstory and all of that, but he has some really, really impressive numbers that I am really excited to share with you guys to kind of give you some perspective. When he was in starting in January of this year, he started out with a little over 3,000 PQV, right? And so that in itself was a home run, but just listen to the growth. In February, he was up to 5,000 PQV, March at 7,000 PQV. Like I said, he is absolutely leading in the company, the number one standing, what do you want to call it, conversion, person taking a customer to promoter. And in the month of April, upgraded 7 customers to promoters, 5 of which went AD. So those are some huge stats. I told you guys that this is huge. They're a rock star team. So with that, I'm going to shut up and turn it over to Larry. And I don't know if Rachel's in the car with you, but over to you, man. Take it away.
She's not. She's still talking to one of the couples that came to the party. Thanks for having me on. I'm humbled to be on Levon Craig's Zoom. It's been an awesome journey. So excited. The way this, with the company shift, like Levon said, I just start right in. I've got my notes here written on envelopes. I didn't have any tablets of paper with me, so just bear with me. I'm new to this. This is where I'm learning, I guess, is training. So, like Levon said, 3,000 in PQV in January. We all know, some customers they'll come and go. It works. That's the way it works with every business. So we had 1,000 PQV in December of last year. We put 3,000 new in, and 1,000 went away. So we grew 2,000. The lights went out. And then in February, same thing. We put 3,000 new in, another 1,000 went away. And that's how it's been. We put 3,000 in new in every month, and that's why we grew 2,000 every month, because 1,000 kept going away. And it's not, a lot of those weren't customers like canceling their kits. It was, I need to drop my kit a little bit this month, and then, once I had the money, up it a little bit. But I'm just having those conversations with them. Retaining those customers is really important. It's so much easier to retain them than to get new customers. So we really develop a relationship with them. It's not just we don't just talk about Vi. We talk about their kids. We talk about what's going on in their life, and just make them feel loved. So in April, she shared 7 customers upgraded to EPS. So this is really I mapped out month to month our activity and what happened with that activity, and now I'm duplicating that in my team, and they already did their first month of it. So this is what we did. We did 4 personal VIP rewards parties in our first month. And one thing that we're not doing is we do not talk about the business side at a VIP rewards party. If someone brings it up, like, oh, so you guys get paid to do this? I answer the question. I don't want people to be weirded out, but I answer the question, tell them, yeah, we do. But this is a VIP rewards party. That's a business question. I can get that answered afterwards. If you want to stick around, we can talk about the business side. And it takes away the pressure of everyone else, because a lot of times they're actually waiting for you to ask, because that's what comes up at It Works or Beach Fight, whatever, you name the business. So so in the first month we did 4 personal parties, and we did 3 customer VIP rewards parties. So that's very important, is the VIP rewards parties, because what you're doing is you're setting it up for people to have PQV, your customers to have PQV. So the second month we did 4 personal parties and another 4 VIP rewards parties for customers. And then the third month, March, I'll just say third month. It could you could start now, month 1, month 2, doesn't matter what month of the year. March, for 4 personal parties, and we did 7 VIP rewards parties of customers. So what happened was those seven VIP rewards parties that we did weren't exactly 7 new customers that did parties. They were existing customers that did a party in March or in February or January. So there was a total of 7 people in March that did VIP rewards parties, and they all had PQV. Some of them were over 2,000 already. So they were already a PQV Rising Star as a customer. So in April, the conversations were easy. First 90 days was just get customers, get customers, get customers. If one of those would have said, okay, I've got 400 in customers, I want to be a promoter, I would have signed them up. I would have helped them, upgrade. I would have helped them along, getting started more customers, but they didn't. And in April was when we had those conversations. And one of the guys, actually a college kid, had 2,000 in PQV, had the conversation with him, and he said, so you're pretty much saying it's dumb not to upgrade. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, they all upgraded. Seven customers upgraded to EPS. And then what we did was, in their first month, they were already at like close to 2,000 in PQV. They all crossed Rising Star in their first week. And then what we did was we ran my first month, Rachel and I's first month, for their first month. So we did 4 personal parties and 3 customer VIP rewards parties. So that's going to keep duplicating. So, for example, they keep saying, you've got equity, now we want it, that kind of thing. I keep telling them, do the activity of month 1, month 2, month 3, and you'll get month 4. You'll get that. In the 120 days, you're going to get equity if you do what we did. So that's what they're focusing on and they all know July is their month. All the area directors know that July is their month. That's when they want to go national directors. So we're setting their sights on, regional and moving them up like that. But they understand that, how it worked for us, and they want to do it that way. One thing I saw, I hit regional director my first 90 days, and I think the whole team only had like 5 or 6 customers. They're all promoters. And, hit it in April of last year, and May volume went down like that. Mm-hmm. So, it's, I love this business model, and I look at it as, I might have been a business builder, but I really think this is the way to build a business. It's sustainable. Your volume isn't dropping. So we hit equity last month, which I didn't even mention that. That's the most exciting part. Getting 7 ADs, we crossed 5 ADs. 5 of those 7 crossed AD, not all 7 of them. Helping them do that, and now setting them up to move up, just like we did. We crossed national director. We crossed at about 26,500 in value. This month already, when the 19th, the auto ships hit, we're going to be at 19,000 in value. If I would have done that with just all promoters, my value might be like 12,000. So that's the difference. That's why I love this. And I guess this is a PQV lid, so I'm sure you guys are loving it too. So anything I can add to that, LaVon?
Yeah, I know that you had done something with NST. Can you maybe enlighten some of these folks with something that you did that was a little bit unique with some of your customers?
You bet, definitely. This is something that it was one of those things that happened as an accident pretty much. And it was one of those things like Larry goes to all these events, but he never gets people there. And we had no promoters that were working in our team in January. And I was like, I'm not going to NST by myself. So what we did was we dipped into the savings a little bit, and we said, we're going to rent a house, and we're going to pack that house out with customers. We're going to take some friends with us. We're just going to have a blast. And the requirement was they go to the event. They go to our national event. And we bragged on it like, it's a blast. It'll change your life. It's very inspirational. And all the friends that we took along were pretty much just like, we'll go along. It's Florida. We'll go get a tan. So what we did was we did a drawing for some of our customers. Well, all of our customers were in the drawing, but we drew a total of 4 customers to go with us. All they had to pay for was their plane ticket. So we paid for the NST ticket, and we paid for the house. What happened was they went to the event. They were inspired. 3 of those already had a ton of customers. They were 3 of the guys that went AD, and they came home and they upgraded to promoter from there, and we went to work there. So they actually went AD in like 20 days, all 5 of them.
I think it's powerful. I really do. It's one of those things that is kind of like you just kind of stumbled into that, but what a great, great accident to have had. It was awesome. I know that was, to me, it was pretty powerful because it told that you were just determined, and when you set your mind to doing something, you just went out there and absolutely crushed it. And I love that about you. And I am so inspired by your story, by the way. And it's exactly what we've been teaching and talking about here. We're sitting at about 45 days into this focus group right now. And so I thought it was very relevant, knowing that we're really just kind of priming the customers for the conversation for the upgrade for next month. And so I took it as one of your biggest tips and takeaways is to obviously host at least 4 VIP rewards parties and customers parties, so that you have groups growing or customers growing within your customer groups that you're looking to upgrade. So that's something that I wanted to make sure that I heard real clear, make sure that I iterated that properly. But I also, what would be one other thing? Have you guys done any celebration bashes? I thought you guys had done one, didn't you?
Yeah, we did one. Yeah, and what we did, I had a few customers ask me, was like, "Is this how you always do things?" It's like, no, we just have a ton of fun. We actually did it at I don't know if you guys know what a Wings Etc. is. It's kind of like a Buffalo Wild Wings. Or,
okay.
It's a wings place. I got a 100-ounce tanker of beer, and we ordered 100 wings. We just had a blast, and it was they know they can cheat. They know they can have their cheat meals. So it's like, this is your cheat meal. Feast up, have a blast. So we only had a few customers show up to that. That was my mistake on that part. I didn't promote to it as much as I should have. And one thing we did for area directors afterwards was I rented a pretty much a party bus, and we went out on the town. And we're really just focused on creating that community of people, and just letting them know that we care about them. And it's not just all about you go out and make me some money. That's really what we're focused on. One thing I want to touch on, Levon, that I'm going to do for Vitality. It's in Chicago. I'm only 3 hours from Chicago. I'm renting a bus, and I'm taking at least 50 people with me. And one thing I'm doing with I can't even think of the word. The premier customer. Yeah, okay. The premier customers. Every time they become a premier customer, I tell them, it's like, you have the option to opt in or opt out, but we're going to Chicago in October for our national event. We're going to tour the Willis Tower. It used to be a Sears Tower. We're going to tour that. Bus ride there is free, and the hotel rooms are free. All you got to pay for is your event, and your event ticket. And they're like, "Oh, that'd be a blast." So it's really one of the requirements is going to be you have to host 2 VIP rewards parties to go. So I'm going to pack that bus out. I'm going to maybe rent another bus. I'm getting a ton of people there. So really, I'm making a small investment really for what gets paid back. Them going area director, paid for their trip and everything. It got us equity, and they're going to stick around for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm really, I cannot wait to see what it turns out to be. I mean, taking 50 people. So if you took 4, you took 4 couples, right? Or no, it was 4 total people to NST, and you got 5 area directors total out of that 7 people that were upgraded. So now we were taking 50 people. I'm just the numbers, it's all in the numbers. So I'm excited. Right. I cannot wait to see what happens. It's going to be huge. Well, Larry, I don't want to take any more of your time, but I am going to let you wrap up. If there's any final thoughts, any other nuggets, something that you just over the course of this journey that you were like, you know what, this has been the biggest aha takeaway, whether it's just something, your own personal growth that you found, or anything that you may want to share.
It's funny that you said that personal growth, because that'd be my number one nugget that I've learned from. I had an 8th grade education. I grew up Amish, never went to high school. So when I started in this, there was things I didn't understand, and I just kept plugging in. And one thing I did, I worked in a factory for 6 years, and in the last 90 days of working there, I started Vi, and I listened to Vet 8 hours a day. We could listen to music, so I just listened to Vet 8 hours a day, and I started growing, learning, and it took a course of a year to know what I do now. And I keep plugging in because there's so much to learn. One thing that what happened, I guess, in my life besides Vi, just by listening to Vet and personal growth, surrounding myself with Mike and Levon Craig, Matt and John Apar, getting on Zooms with them, just listening to Vet, the millionaires, all those mentors. My personal growth outside of Vi was phenomenal. people, family members, Rachel's family, kept telling me, is like, what's going on? You've changed, that kind of thing.
Right.
And as far as my income, I started a roofing business. I've been roofing for 10 years for my dad. He owns a construction company, but I started my own business at the start of this year. And I did some odd jobs last year, but just in the last 3 months, just from the personal growth and knowing how to run a business, the different, I'm paying for referrals. I'm using Vi's model for paying for referrals. My income grew 900% in the last 3 months.
That's awesome.
Rachel and I are like, how does this even happen? It's a system, and it's, we just take our emotions out of it. We just, it's not something that, we don't focus on the outcome. We focus more on the activity, and
Right.
and the income follows.
Awesome. Fall in love with the process, right?
Right.
Real quick, do you have a couple more seconds? Because I want to make sure that if anybody else on the line had some questions, because I kind of told them to come prepared and have some questions for you. So we're like, not very often we get your attention. So now that we have it for a few minutes, I'm going to open up the lines. If anybody has any questions or comments that you would like to ask, Larry is all yours. Take it away, guys.
I have a question.
Oh boy.
The 4 VIP parties that you hosted, were they always in your home?
Now the VIP customer rewards parties are in their home. Now the 4 that personal parties were in our home. Yep.
Okay.
Now once like in April, we did a group VIP rewards party where all the promoters that had upgraded, were they all invited to, and it was pretty much to save time rather than going from house to house to house to house. We did it all in one spot.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think you'll have better luck doing it in someone's home, because then they're also more apt to do it in their home because they don't want to rent a hotel room. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Larry, would
Anything
you
else?
repeat about how many, for 8 hours a day you listen to Bet? I love this story. For how long? How long were you working in that job?
Well, 90 days, in 3 months time, 5 days a week. It was, I'd take a break from it every now and then, but I would, if I was listening to music instead of music, I'd listen to that.
That's awesome.
It was,
that's a huge nugget for people.
right. One thing that I didn't understand, I'm not sure who shared it, but it was at a Vi event. One of the millionaires shared it, was your subconscious mind hears it. Even though I was sometimes talking to people while I was working, and the staple guns, I upholstered furniture, so there's lots of noise, I was still like hearing it, even though I wasn't paying attention to it. But then when someone asked a question, or I had to, someone asked the question, I found myself saying things I didn't even know I knew, because it was in my subconscious mind.
That's amazing.
Powerful.
I have a question, if I could.
Yeah.
For the celebration bashes, we have a couple of customers who are reaching a lot of their goals around this time right now, and we wanted to throw some celebration bashes. I know you said you did one at Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yeah, it's called Wings, Etc.
Oh, okay. So that can just be pretty much anywhere you want to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing Ashley Sarnicola shared was just make it fun. Just celebrate the. We didn't even really talk about. We talked about their transformation, but we didn't talk about website problems or anything that customers ask you, I guess, on a daily basis of hey, my Vitrim didn't show up, that kind of thing. I just we didn't have too much of that come up. I guess we just talked about celebrating their transformation. I printed off the certificates online for the 25-pound club and all that. One thing I did, I was getting ready for the party and I was in a hurry, and I printed off the 10-pound club papers, and they were in Spanish. And I don't have any Spanish-speaking customers, but it was an awe moment for me because we had already hit equity when we did this, and I was like, wow, we own a piece of the company in Mexico or wherever wherever they speak Spanish, I guess.
I love it.
Any other questions?
All right. Go ahead, Ron.
I have a simple question. What part of Indiana are you from?
It's more northern part. We're west of Fort Wayne, about 20 minutes.
Okay, I'm originally from Fort Wayne, and I have a promoter that I could probably link you guys up. I need help up there in that area, so
You bet, definitely.
I might add you on Facebook.
Hey, do that. And then I can let you know we just did an LST. Matt and John Apar came for that. Matt and John are there quite a bit. If we do a group VIP rewards party, they're always there.
Fantastic.
We can link them all together.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, Larry, we want to definitely thank you so much for being on the call tonight. I know I promised you 15 minutes, and I've taken more of your time than that. So thank you so much for sharing all your nuggets and spending this time with us. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Have a great evening. Tell Rachel we say hello. Give her a love. Guys, I'm going to keep you guys for just a couple more seconds real quick just to wrap up a few more last few thoughts. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. I know it's a little bit late tonight. Real quick, just to answer your question on Celebration Bashes, Drew, I mean, you guys, this is where you get to be creative. Do whatever you guys are passionate about that's fun, and just shows your appreciation for the customer. One of the biggest tips that I found or that I've heard is if you can get in with the significant other or a spouse or a family member and make it a surprise party, it will take a lot of the burden and work off of you, because now they're vested in it and they're excited as well. So they're going to probably reach out to a little more of their friends, the family. So the size of that party is going to be a little bit larger. They're going to be the ones kind of going and spreading all the word. So that way you don't have to really worry so much about that. But you can do it anywhere, whether it's at a church, whether it's at, you've heard bowling alleys, we've heard, wing houses. It can be anywhere, parks, whatever you guys want to do. I've heard of people doing things with it, tying it into a charitable kind of thing where we talk about, hey, they've lost so much weight. They're donating some clothes. If you've got any old clothes that, you no longer can fit into and you'd like to donate to, so to try to tie into other aspects of things like that and almost making it like a clothing drive, or whatever. You guys let your minds just go, explore, have fun with it. My question, or not necessarily a question, but my request from everybody on the line too, is if you can send me anything that's bubbling up in your minds, anything that you guys would like to see. Think of it in the aspect of what tools could help with what we're doing. We're really working more with the customers, really going out to obtain customers, retain customers. Think of it as like if there's more of a consumer messaging just to the customer that you would like to see, or anything that you guys can think of, or tips or suggestions that you guys have, whether it's a website suggestion or anything like that. Anything that you're coming across that would just make life easier in the process of helping with the customers, working with the customers. If you'll send me a private message, that way not everybody's getting bombarded with it. We're working with, like I said, Ashley and some of the other leaders in the groups to try to kind of come up with some things to help voice, and bubble up your guys' voice and elevate your voices to corporate, and to see what we can do even as leaders. If there's videos or testimonies that we need to kind of start, producing for you guys that would help, just definitely please share any of that information with us so that we can, get that to the right people. But thank you guys so much for your time tonight. Certainly appreciate every one of you. Again, make sure that if there's any adjustments to your goals that you guys want to share, send those in to me on the thread. Keep sending in all the success stories, and have a great, great, great evening, guys. Thank you so much. Love and adore you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.